Why is being fascial driven so important? It's because the properties of fascia allow us to be athletic, to be explosive. We've all been taught that lifting heavy and getting bigger muscles is the way to become more athletic. But without the fascial connection, muscle in and of itself is just like pulled pork. It doesn't actually do anything. You need the fascial connection to be healthy in order to utilize the muscle that you have. There are ways to become more fascial driven, the hyperarch fascial training, which is training your foot to glute connection, as well as rolling out your fascia with a tennis ball and being hydrated, sweating on a daily basis, walking barefoot, and training in a fluid, holistic, elastic manner. So why is being fascial driven so important? It's because fascia utilizes free energy. An elastic doesn't expend energy when it's being pulled on. Like if you pull an elastic and you let it go, it doesn't require additional energy to rebound. It's just one of the properties. Now, our tendons are like elastics. And so if you're utilizing primarily your tendons when, let's say, you're running, you're going to expend far less energy. Now, it's undoubtable that you can increase the benchmarks of athleticism, let's say strength, like your max squat through weight training. You can increase your max vertical through weight training. And I'm not denying that weight training doesn't work. Or not denying that it works. But the problem is that neurologically, what we're sourcing our jumping pattern from, if it's more muscle driven, we're going to expend more energy. And so in a real time scenario in game, we're going to fatigue more quickly. The fascial connection that children possess is an indicator of how we should be in the world. Like unlimited energy run, you could play 3 soccer games in a day and just be like fine. Like they just don't fatigue, they don't get tired. It's because they're fully holistically connected. But through our modern practices like sitting a lot, being dehydrated, losing the connection with our feet by wearing shoes all the time, these things cause your fascia to degenerate. And when your fascia is degenerating, we compensate in different ways. Sometimes it's a hip, sometimes it's a knee, sometimes it's the ankle. If you have an injury, that'll disrupt the fascial system as well because it's a tensegrity structure. So it's all connected. Like the fascia in your shoulder is connected to the fascia in your feet. So when we ignore the role that fascia plays, which is still being uncovered to this day, but mostly in the last 10 years, it's the importance of it's being discovered. When you ignore that aspect and just say, oh, like, that's just the fascia bros, like they come and go, like this is, we gotta lift heavy. It's like, there are tons of cases in which they've never touched a weight in their life and they're extremely athletic. This is present in children. This is present in tribes that are disconnected from the modern world. And they think that bodybuilders look like messed up. Like they see them, are like, what the heck is that? Because they're like these skinny people, but because all they do is they actually have to survive. And so they run and they have these jumping contests like the Maasai tribe where they're jumping so high, but they have no muscle. And they're also not using their muscle to jump. They're jumping like just from their Achilles so high. And where you get your energy from is extremely important. So like if I'm running on my muscles all the time, I may be able to run like a 6-minute mile, but only for like a couple miles. Or if my muscles are like, if I train them all the time, then maybe I can do it decent. But like someone who's fascial driven can do that every day nonstop, like every day. And another reason why being fascial driven is so important is because the tendons, the ligaments don't have blood flow. And so it's very common in people who are muscle driven to have knee pain, to have joint pain. And that's because their fascial connection is not good. And so it's not healing properly. They did an experiment where they had, I'm going to briefly describe it. They had mice and they gave them like a knee injury, and then they put scaffolding, like artificial metal scaffolding through it. And then one group, they were sending electrical signals through the scaffolding. One, they didn't send anything through. And the ones that we didn't send anything through, they never recovered from the knee injury. But the ones that they're sending electrical signals through recovered in a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. And it's the same with us. It's like because fascia, one of its properties is piezoelectric, so it's like actually a semiconductor, is if you're not conducting electricity or energy through the fascia, then the tissues never heal. And so being fascial driven can actually keep you pain free. And this is like my goal, sharing with you. If you've watched this far, then you obviously care about being pain free and being athletic into old age. Like my goal is not necessarily to reach the maximum vertical jump ever, right? I don't want to have like the highest vertical ever. I just want to be athletic for the rest of my life. And so, and I've like witnessed in my own professional league in volleyball that people who do have a great vertical from weight training are like riddled with injuries. Like I can't even describe, it would take me like 10 minutes to describe all of their injuries. And normalizing the pain of it, normalizing like, yeah, this is how it is. Like by the time you hit 30, your knees they're just done. Like the cartilage in your knee is just done. It's like, no, I don't buy into that. And so I feel very like lucky that I've been able to access the latest research on it and on being fascial driven and the importance of it, and just so I can share it with you so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did doing the traditional lifting and living with pain. There is another way. Being fascial driven is the way. Do the HFT. It's on my channel, and I'll see you there.